In the plan reference image, we can see we've got loads of rooms to create, but we are mainly focusing on the hallway. If you right click on this and go to properties, we can see the dimensions, which are 1266 by 873. So in 3ds Max, we want to create a plane, and we'll apply these dimensions. So we'll do 873 by 1266. If you open up your material editor, and under a new slot, we'll call this plan. And in your diffuse slot, we'll just drag in our apartment plan to this. We'll just apply this to our plane, and just make sure Show Shading Material and Viewport is selected. In order to ensure this is the correct scale, we'll create a reference box. We know that a doorway is 800 by 150, so we'll do this. And we'll just select our plane and we'll scale it. This can be quite rough at the moment. That looks about correct. So we'll just move our reference box out of the way for the moment. And under shapes, we'll select line and we'll begin to create our walls. So we select the corner of the hallway and we'll shift and drag this along to keep the line straight. And we'll just select and insert points at the doorways. Again, this can be very rough at the moment, as we'll tweak it later. I'll just go around here really quickly until we get... We'll just join the spline up at the end. So under your modifier, go into line and select vertex. And we can see this vertex is not straight. So if we activate our 2.5 snap and just snap this back. I'm just dragging on the x-axis here and snapping it to this point here. Okay, so under line again, we'll make sure we select segment and we'll just delete all the doorways. Like so. So I'm going to isolate my line now by selecting this light bulb down the bottom. And under modifier, I'm going to apply an extrude. I'm going to make this about 3 meters. That's about correct. Under modifiers again, add an edit poly. If you go to your front viewport and select all the edges which are vertical, and scroll down in your options and hit connect. If you activate your 2.5 snap again and snap this to the bottom, we can right click on, we'll select the move tool and we'll adjust this to the height of the doors. So on the y axis, we'll create this about 2.1 meters. And that should be where the top of our doors are. So above all your doors, what you want to do is keep your edge selected and we'll just bridge these across. You want to do this with all your doors. Once you've done this, select your edges around your door frames. And we just want to extrude these. So we'll do about 150. And OK that. Once you've extruded your doorways, if you select one of the edges, one of the vertical edges, and unisolate the plan again, we can just shift and drag this very roughly to create one next room. So that's like so. It can be very rough at this point. We're not really focusing on these rooms at all. But it's a good idea to have them in the scene, which will affect the lighting of the scene. Just going to turn on my 3D snap here. And snap to the edge of that doorway. Like so. If now under your edit poly, if you go back to your selection and select vertex, and we'll just highlight these vertexes that we snapped to there. and we'll just go to our weld, and you can see it's just welded two of them together. If you go back to selection and select edges again, and select all the top edges of this room, just loop them round, and select that one, and select your snap again, and shift and drag these to the top of the hallway. So as you can see, we've created another room very quickly, and what you need to do is just create all the rooms on the plan, just in the same method I've shown you here, and we can move on to looking at architectural detail in the next lesson.